Hello everyone, I'm Rainbow and welcome to The Space Between. Now this is a short game that is supposed to talk about like Asian American identity, and I, if you couldn't tell, am not that. So, it'll be interesting to see the perspective of that. So let's just get into it. But I cannot say for how accurate it is to the experience. And June, what is the answer to problem 14? You have absolutely no idea what the professor is talking about. You had spent the previous night watching anime instead of doing your homework. All of a sudden, you feel a kick from the side of your desk. It's 47. A voice whispers from your right. You see Miles. After class, you approach him. Thanks for that, you say. Glancing at his backpack, you see a familiar pin from your favorite band. You listen to Fleet Foxes? Your first date with him is a concert at the park. Well, we both like the same band, so let's go to a concert. A week later, you two sit at the beach pier, listening to street performers as the sky turns from a soft pink to black. Will you be my girlfriend? Sure. We don't have much context for this. You two bond over your shared taste in obscure video games or memes. Let's be gamers. He likes Night in the Woods, The Beginner's Guide, Florence. The only question I have now is when is the wedding? As the weeks go on, you discover that he is endearingly awkward, sincere, and nurturing. You like how easily your conversations flow, a constant stream of stories, surprising vulnerability, and recommendation sharing. He may not have been your first best friend, but he's the most special one. Because here's this guy who notices the way you can't help yourself when you get excited, who holds you when you need it the most. You didn't realize that there was still romance in the world left for you, but here it is, big and glowing and full. You decide to celebrate by having a solo dance party in your room, baking every baked good you could possibly think of. I love baking. And so you make mediocre banana bread, but the joy is in the refining, and so you keep trying. Your friends don't even ask why you're smiling, don't even need to ask why you're smiling so much. He takes you to the lookout spot next to his suburban house, and you slow dance to Hannah Hunt by Vampire Weekend or Golden Hour by Casey Musgraves. I don't know either of those, but Golden Hour sounds correct. Baby, don't you know that you're my golden hour, the color of my sky? You've set my world on fire, and I know everything is gonna be alright. And suddenly you understand why heartbreak and sorrow must happen to have this joy shine so brightly. You see the neighborhood lights reflect in his eyes, and you dare to take his hand. You are now 5 months into your relationship. Okay, I'm back. That was just a coworker dropping off Easter baskets for my sisters. The knocking scared the crap out of me. I can't believe you're driving us 2 hours just to go stargazing. I officially won the boyfriend lottery. I like driving. Plus, it'll be nice with just us two. My sense of direction is kind of questionable and there's no signal, so I don't know if that's a good thing. We did pick a good long drive playlist. The lookout spot will be pretty. It's also in the middle of the woods. If a bear tries to eat us, you're fighting it and I'm running for help. Glad to know you're committed to our safety. I'm very committed. I'm the one devising the plan in case a bear mauls us. I bet I'm a faster runner than you. I got it. I distract the bear by seducing it, and you can run into the bear and knock it over. Then we both run away. Or the power of fear will motivate me to run faster. I don't think the bear will be easily seduced. What, you're saying I'm not pretty enough for the bear? You're telling me, your own girlfriend, that she's uglier than a bear? That's not what I said. Yes, but that was what you meant. I tell you you're pretty all the time. Oh, I didn't know. What? You have a thing for bears, or you want to break up with me, but you don't know how to break the news, so you're going to let me die instead. We're just going to go with the bears thing. We're not going to make it that serious. No, I do not. Hello, could you not make my wall just a beam of angel light blinding everything behind me? No, I do not. That's why you think the bear won't like me, because you yourself want the bear. You're crazy. We should call this bear dating simulator instead. That's not what's going to happen. I'm so glad that you're comfortable enough to share this with me. It's not true, though. The first step to getting help for your bear problem is admitting you have one. Fine, if the bear comes, I'll attack and you run. I'm glad we could agree on the plan. I too am thrilled. I don't think I've been here since I was a kid. I didn't realize how beautiful it is here. I'm so used to the city. Yeah, there's no one here. Let's set up the blanket and lay down. Continue. He's into the bear. Do you know any constellations? No, I wish I did. I always thought they were boring, so I made my own. What do you mean? I can create random shapes from the stars and then come up with my own backstory, either a random one I thought of or something from my life. That's so wholesome. My mom said I was an imaginative kid. We could do that now. That's okay, it was just a stupid idea. No, I want to. Here, let me start. You are now stargazing with Miles. To form a constellation, click and drag between pairs of stars until all edges of the constellation are visible. To find more constellations, move the mouse to the edge of the screen to scroll across the night sky. Completing constellations will unlock more constellations. Have fun. Oh. I see the pond at the Boston Commons. I've never been there before. It's a super pretty park that's right next to downtown. I used to go there a lot when I lived there. I wish there was a spot like that where I lived. It was just a playground, which no one really wanted to hang out at. Although, fun fact, I had my first kiss at a playground, or what was so special about the Commons? Let's ask about the Commons. I'd go at night when no one was there. There was a quiet, calming atmosphere when there wasn't anyone. Sitting at the benches, looking at the sunset reflecting in the pond, it just felt like home. The night before we left for college, my friends and I went to the Commons. We stayed up until 4 a.m. talking about what we would be like in college, and we all promised to keep in touch with each other. Then everything happened, and I haven't talked to any of them in so long. I feel like they've all moved on with their lives. It's never too late to reach out. They probably wonder where you are. Yeah, but I kinda ghosted them when I took my quarter off. I ghosted everyone. I'm sure they'd understand if you explained. But it wasn't like we naturally drifted apart. Yeah, but you never know if one day you can't say sorry. I was listening to this news story about this phone booth in Japan that doesn't work. A lot of Japanese people died in the 2011 earthquake, and people started going to this phone booth to talk to the dead. Anyway, someone put a microphone in there with permission, and NPR did this whole piece about the phone booth. I don't like to think about grief like that. I was listening to the recordings, and it was painful to hear even as a bystander, but after that I realized it's never too late to reconnect. The fragility of human life is terrifying. I guess you're right. I keep thinking I'll do it, but then I put it off. You need to give yourself the chance to be forgiven, or there was this one recording of a guy talking to his mom. I started thinking about what will eventually happen one day, and we'll have all of these years where we didn't see each other. Let's tell him he has the chance to be forgiven. That doesn't mean I have to forgive myself first. But doesn't that mean I have to forgive myself first? No. You don't necessarily need to forgive yourself to let yourself be forgiven. It's a potato. It's a potato! I see. White rabbit candy, I yelled. We'll go with white rabbit candy. What's that? It's a Chinese milk candy. My parents used to buy it for my friends and me to eat when I was younger. A rabbit is on the package of each piece. I've never seen you eat one. Makes me think of my mom. Maybe it's time to change that. Let's get deep. Right, I didn't mean to bring it up. I had a family friend who was my age. My mom would let me sleep over at her house, and her mother would give us white rabbit candy. It's weird to think about the good times growing up. As a kid, my kryptonite was Jolly Ranchers. My mom got so tired of hearing me beg, she bought me this bulk supply. I ate so many I threw up. Now I don't even want to look in the direction of a Jolly Rancher. My favorite candy makes me think about my questionable relationship with my mother, and yours of throwing up. It seems that's the cause. You know, there was this one time our Chinese school teacher was sick, and so my mom was our substitute. Everyone loved her. She told stories during class, and she made learning Chinese entertaining. I was so proud. Everyone told me they wanted my mom back. Why do you think she changed so much? That's a complex question I'm still trying to figure out the answer to. Honestly, it's probably best that you don't know. Not to be harsh, but I don't think the answer is pretty. Knowing wouldn't change anything. She's probably going through her own issues or something. God has favorites, and I'm definitely not one of them. I don't think that's how religion works. To be fair, none of us know God, even if he's out there. I think every religious person would disagree with you. Look, God, hear me out. You're really addressing God right now? We'll be thankful. I know we have our differences, but I gotta say, you gave me a pretty hot boyfriend. You did give me really shitty parents and a questionable fashion sense, but you did well in the whole love life department. June. You can be kind of annoying sometimes, but God, please don't listen to her. And with that, I gotta say, amen. Amen to that. I see a camera. I was thinking, what if pictures could do more than just show you how something looked? Let's say you took a picture of a landscape and you could also smell the fresh air there, you could feel the ground, you could basically feel like you were there. That's just bigger incentive for me not to leave my house. Or I feel like that's a recipe for disaster. You could use it that way. You could be on a call with your friend, look at a picture of Paris, all while being in your PJs. Photojournalism would be on a whole new level. People who are in long-distance relationships would love this. Do you think you could do one? Yes. I need to be optimistic about something in my life, and it's obviously not my career prospects. Seriously? What? It's better than having nothing. I think I could. I would have to have a date to look forward to that I would see my partner. You know, about your camera idea, I think it'd be interesting if we could do that with pictures of ourselves at different points in of our lives. You can see how far we've come. Your therapist would love that. There are times when I'm sad, when just a reminder that I was once happy is enough. Thinking about good memories when I'm sad just makes me feel like I'm being happy is further away. That's the ebb and flow of life. Then I wish life would stop ebbing so much. If you could put a barrier to be like, I'm only allowed to be this disappointed in my life, then that would be great. You have nothing to seriously be disappointed in your life for. Oh, trust me, there's some deep-rooted regret within myself. Relatable. Do you think that's why we're dating? Because we both deal with things way beyond our mental capacity? Yeah, probably. Let's see, there's probably... Hey, I found something. I see. A record or a CD? Let's go record. Let's go old school. Why a record? I always had this dream to hang up record sleeves on my wall. Before I went through life trauma, I thought life's problems could be solved through listening to a good song. I have record sleeves on my wall. I wish I could be that naive. Now it just represents a person I can never be again. I don't think so. That part of you, the one that gets excited over everything, is the reason I wanted you to be my girlfriend. You're the one who constantly tells me to appreciate the beauty of the universe. Yeah, but I'm also the person where it's like, one small thing goes wrong and I'm cursing the universe. I never told you this, but the first time we talked over video chat, before we even started dating, my sisters already knew I liked you. Did you tell them? No, they could hear it in my voice. What could possibly be different about your voice? I sounded happy. You need to stop being so cute or I'm going to start appreciating the beauty of the universe again. I don't think you realize how much joy you have for being alive. It's because life doesn't always feel so simple, or do you think I'm too cheesy? Let's go deep this one. Isn't life always complicated? That's why we must appreciate the rare, simple moments. I don't remember the last time it felt simple. Remember when we went to karaoke? Are you talking about New Year's Eve? Yeah, didn't life feel simple then, despite everything that was happening in our lives? That night was one of the last moments I thought everything was going to be okay. When we were counting down to the new year, I really thought I was going to put my past behind. I thought there's no way this year would be as bad, but here we are. I'm not one to believe in miracles, but I want to, for you. I don't need a miracle, I just want a break. I was talking to my therapist about your situation, and she told me that you have to acknowledge that your worldview is influenced by your mom. Sometimes, the negative self-talk isn't you, it's you mirroring your mom. Your therapist is onto something. She usually is. Oh. I expanded. It's a low part. It's not a low part. If this one was down where it could have been. I see a sunrise. That would be a perfect constellation. It's specifically the sunrise on our second date. Really? Yeah. That's really wholesome. That date changed what I had thought previously about love and relationships. I never thought I'd find someone who got me instantly. That was legit me before I met you, or to think that something so inherent as loving as loving is something we didn't believe in. Whenever I was with anyone else, I always felt like I was forcing them to validate me. The trick is to validate yourself. That shit is hard, though. People have their own lives, and I always feel as a guy it's harder to ask for affection. Yeah, I feel embarrassed to do it, but you have the world telling you that it's wrong. I don't know if you remember, but we were taking turns making assumptions about each other, and you were like, a lot of people may not notice it, but you're actually quite thoughtful. I didn't think that anyone noticed the effort I put in. You remember things I said months ago. When you hear a good song, you tell me it reminds you of me. Of course I think you're thoughtful. When you said that, it wasn't just a nice comment. I felt like I was seen. I didn't want to just see you. I wanted to see you as you are. I never really thought people cared enough to try. I barely made any friends my first year of college, and I basically lost all of them the next semester when I took time off school for my depression. I was stuck in my hometown while all my high school friends were somewhere else for college, which basically just made it worse. Must have been difficult. You were taking care of yourself, which was the best thing you could have done. A lot of my friends didn't get it because they knew me as this happy person, and everyone moved on from me when I stopped putting in effort. It was barely better than the time I took off. But they didn't know what to say once they realized you changed. So then when I met you and you kept talking to me, even though I was pretty awkward, I felt like I already finally had someone. I didn't realize that I had that impact on your life. I've tried to fit in a lot. I joined the school newspaper, I tried to talk to people in class, but I never felt like I belonged. They all just tolerated me, but you made an effort to see me for who I am. I kinda had this thing, it's called a crush on you. Well, you came into my life right when I needed it the most. It's funny you say that, because I felt like meeting you was the universe's way of being like, here's something your way for the shit we've put you through. When we first met, I figured you found me annoying. I was way more preoccupied by thinking I was annoying you. We should have just been honest with each other. I was too much of a wuss with you, to be honest. We all have our wuss moments. Sorry, I'll clarify. Many factors, including your wussness, contributed to your lack of communication. You're going to comfort me by saying you're a wuss too? Wuss in solidarity. It's an apple. A peach! I was close. Why a peach? I always ate them growing up. When I was younger, my mom and I used to go on walks in our neighborhood, and she'd steal peaches off the neighbor's tree. It's a Chinese family thing. I feel like we all grew up watching our parents steal fruit. Isn't that illegal? My mom is not intimidated by the law. I've never heard of that. Trust me, it's a thing. When I went to my Asian friend's house, their parents would offer me stolen fruit as a peace offering. Then they would ask me what I'm studying, if I had a boyfriend, and whether I had post-grad plans. So the whole do you have a boyfriend-girlfriend thing is universal. I think all parents secretly worry that their kid isn't going to find someone, or whenever someone asks me that, I'm like, I'm already worried enough about my eternal singledom. When I told my mom that I was dating you, she was so relieved. Really? What did she say? She asked me how old you were, what you looked like. Did you show her a picture? Yeah. What did she say? She said you were pretty. Good mom. I'm assuming it's the same for Asian families. The sentiment is the same, but the questions are different. They couldn't care less if my boyfriend is ugly. Yeah. If you were to tell any Asian mother that you were dating someone, the first question would be what's his major, how rich his family is, and how rich he is. I can't take that kind of pressure. First time my high school boyfriend came over for dinner, she'd asked us in Chinese. He was Chinese. Every detail about his family and where he wants to be when he grows up. He was okay with it. The week before, I went to his house and his mom did the same thing to me. I'd still be terrified. There's so many very specific parts of Asian American culture that we just automatically understand. Like the whole fruit tree thing and dating. I was talking to Rebecca the other day about growing up as an Asian kid, and she was like, I was so embarrassed of what our food smelled like at lunch. I realized that was also me. People made fun of me because they said it smelled weird. I guess I never realized that other Asian kids went through the same thing. And you all relate on this? Yeah, it's like being bullied about lunch is universally Asian. I never even noticed that people made digs at Asian people for that. Yeah, people made math and race jokes, but I didn't realize it was as intense as that. I don't know if it was overt, I hate Asian people, but it was these subtle comments that slowly chipped away at my identity. Those didn't particularly help either. I suck at math, and people always told me I was less Asian because of that. For me, I feel some sort of connection to being American, but it's more something I go through the motions of. It's not like I hear some guy's life story and think, that's me. I was talking about it to my friend, and it's like, we don't want to be known as just Asian, but everything we do is influenced by our Asianness. That's what a lot of people miss. Oh, no, not that way. A flower. Oh, a Joshua Tree. Don't even remind me. Come on. I don't want to speak of the events of Joshua Tree. I swear it wasn't that bad. Look, I don't think that seeing your girlfriend cry needs to happen after a certain number of dates, but I feel like our third one was definitely too early. I blame you. You're the one who said Lady Bird was your favorite film. You're the one who brought it. I'm just saying Joshua Tree cannot be a constellation. I didn't realize it was going to make you cry. Well, you suggested 2 movies, either Lady Bird or that random sci-fi film. How is Star Wars a random sci-fi film? Anyway, I wasn't particularly in the mood, but I also didn't want to sound unappreciative and reject your thoughtfulness, so we watched it. If you said something, I wouldn't have been offended. I was pretty touched that I mentioned liking Lady Bird and you remembered to bring it. I didn't want to be exposed for never seeing Star Wars. I was touched. I thought it was sweet that you were comfortable enough around me to cry. My sorrow was not sweet. I don't think that crying is embarrassing. I don't either, but I'd shared my life trauma with you before you knew my last name, not to mention you were stone cold the entire film. In your defense, the movie is about the relationship between the main character and her mom, and it was sort of related to your life. I should have pretended to watch the movie, but actually stared off into the distance to prevent the waterworks. That's absurd. We were at Joshua Tree. Why would you bring a movie there of all places? I figured maybe we'd have some downtime if we were tired of hiking. You should have brought a board game. We alternatively could have made out the entire time. We'll get that one. I support that idea, but I brought Lady Bird instead. I should have had the courage to reject both movies. It's okay. I think you're exaggerating. I'm just saying that I would never live this down. On my deathbed, I would look back on my life and be like, oh, remember that time you cried? Not just a single tear or two, but sobbed. Wait. On your third date with Miles? I will remember. I think that's a bit dramatic. What's dramatic is sobbing during a movie where you're trying to impress the guy. My cool girl disguise was gone by the 15-minute mark. The movie wasn't even sad at 15 minutes. Exactly! You see my point entirely. I had the ability to think about Lady Bird and get emotional on the spot. You see yourself in the movie, that's an emotional thing. My whole thought process with that movie is absurd. Then what is it? The reason I cried so much at Lady Bird isn't just that I see so much of my mom and her mom, it's because they're able to reconcile at the end while I'm not able to. Oh, June, that's a perfectly valid reason to cry. All of these books and movies where if you just wait around long enough, they'll come by. But this is my real life, one that can't be wrapped up in a nice, succinct ending. There's this moment where when Lady Bird goes, I wish that you liked me. Her mom replies, of course I love you. But then she's like, but do you like me? And honest to God, I don't know whether I would ask the question with like or love, but do you like me? Because I don't think I'm ready to hear the answer to either. June, you shouldn't be ashamed of any of that. You know, at my high school graduation, my mom got mad at me for wanting to take pictures with my friends. She was grumpy the entire night, yelled at all of us during dinner, and then straight up refused to speak to me. And it was like, I know high school graduation is stupid and meaningless, but it's like I just wanted to have one day where I could feel like a normal kid with my parent. Cat, why are you trying to jump over my leg onto my computer? Thank you. And it was like, I know high school graduation is stupid and meaningless, but it's like I just wanted to have one day where I could feel like a normal kid with normal parents. And you know how Lady Bird ends. Wanting your parents to be proud of you as human. There was this one time I went to my friend Cindy's house. Her sister let me borrow her clothes and they helped me do my makeup. Parents saw us dressing up and ordered us sandwiches, and we all watched a movie together. They were like, we do this every Friday, and I was like, why can't my family do something this simple without screaming at each other's throats? Why can't they let me pretend that everything's okay? I'm never going to understand the nuances between you and your mom, but feeling frustrated over your relationship with her is normal. I don't know anyone who wouldn't be frustrated. I guess I wanted to have something completely separate from my mom, where I didn't have to talk about her because I know it confuses people, and I didn't want to deal with the feeling misunderstood by more people. Oh, June, I'm sorry you're going through this. Thanks for listening. Always. No, this way. It's a triangle. I see a tea bag. Why is that? Asian people make tea by putting in the leaves alone. Growing up, I didn't even know that tea bags existed. My Lala never gave me white people tea. Is Lala Chinese for grandmother? Yeah, we used to drink tea on the weekends as she gossiped about the Chinese boys in our carpool group. Aw, that's cute. She was friends with the other Asian grandmas in my area, so she told me the insider tea about their lives. Get out. Just leave. I know, I'm hilarious. Uh-huh. We both got along because she was so accepting even though she grew up in Royal China. She told me that she thought you were handsome when we met. Even though my grandma spent most of her life in China and worked in physics, she was actually okay with the fact that I like to write. You know, because Asian parents expect you to be in STEM. That's good. She once told me... Yep. It means you want to know why you will write great stories? It's because you see the world differently. Aw, that's adorable. She grew up being taught traditional Chinese ideals, meaning you're expected to adhere to social order. Maybe the changing generations shifted her perspective. She's really accepting of the newer generation. She actually vocalizes how she's feeling. What? What I mean is that Chinese people never express their feelings or love directly. It's always like, you know your mom is thinking of you because she brings you sliced fruit to your room. But my grandma does that and also says it to me. What does that even mean? You know, like when I'm studying, my grandma will drop off apples to my room so I have a snack. That's I love you in Asian terms. They should change the definition of love in the Chinese dictionary so it means bringing produce to your door. That's so sweet. What does she think of your mom? She pretends our distance doesn't exist. If we're talking the 5 stages of grief, my grandma is a mixture of denial and bargaining. Well, the very foundation of her family has been ruined, so it makes sense. You know when you talk to someone who's fighting with their parents, you usually give the advice of talking things over, at least eventually. I was talking to Reese and he said, you need to cut your losses and move on. That's how you know I gotta reach acceptance. Do you think that's even possible in your situation? Then what's the alternative? Lamenting my family until I'm paralyzed? Hope. I have to hold on to hope. That's all I've got, really. Okay, I'm at the top. There it is. A rainbow. I see... Volcano. My friend Catherine used to call me Volcano Girl. See the mountain in your neighborhood, the one we drove to last time I visited. Let's do that one. Yeah, I know what you mean. Do you remember when we went? We hung our feet off the edge of your trunk, and we talked about what we wanted in a relationship. Yeah, you're actually the first person I've brought there. Then I solidified that I wanted to be with you. I was at the first. We'll do that one. Really? I've dated so many guys that I had things in common with, but we never wanted the same things. When you told me you were looking for a committed relationship, that's the first time I felt like I could really be with someone. I love that we could talk about our feelings openly. There's so many rules about dating that says you can't do that. You have to wait this amount of time before you text back, you can't seem like you care more, or whatever it is. I refuse to participate. I was surprised by how honest you were. I was surprised that you were okay with it. I'm the type of person who needs confirmation that someone likes me, or else I think I'm making it up in my head. The opposite, I go for guys even if all the warning signs are there. My friends hate me. Then I'm your girl. That you are. I've always thought I was doomed and there was nothing I could do about it. Things like romance, being desired, being listened to, I didn't think those were for me. Why? Whenever I see cool girls who have their shit together, who have this effortless glow, I see them as versions of myself that I could never be. So if I were a guy, why would I date me over them? Guys feel that way too. I never know about what to say to girls. I'm the least intimidating person I know. That's me. Every time I saw you, you'd be talking and you never wavered. You sounded determined. Determined is a nice way to say annoying and loud. That's what I wanted to be, though. I wanted to have the courage to start a conversation with anyone in my class, to speak exactly how I felt. But being so outgoing scares people. At least people knew you were there. That's what I wanted to be, seen. Ooh. Oh, it's expanding. I've got 3 more. Let's go... No, down. It's a book. Oh, hello. Stop it. I see my journal because it was the only thing that brought me comfort when I took time off of school, and I think it deserves its own constellation. You don't strike me as a journal person. My therapist makes me write in one. If it's that important to you, then I think it deserves a constellation too. It's been almost a year since I took a semester off. I've been thinking a lot about that time in my life. What if you noticed? The painful but necessary woes of self-reflection. That really be a good description. It comes from the personal experience of someone who's about to sleep, but then remembers the time she was 15 and told her crush she liked Wes Anderson films when she hadn't seen a single one. Then I'm asking, what's your favorite Wes Anderson film? Oh my god. True story. I feel secondhand embarrassment just thinking about it. He didn't like me back. That's when I learned that if I'm going to fake interest in something, I should do research first. I like how the lesson wasn't to stop faking interest, but to fake it better. So what painful but necessary woe have you been thinking about? I realize how much better I would be if I spent those 2 years I wasn't at college productively. I wasn't the type of person that everyone wanted to be friends with. I had all these goals that I put on hold. Now that I'm finally getting better, I could have done so much more. You can't control that you had depression, so it isn't your fault. Right, but no one told me that I could never make friends or make progress in my dreams. I did that to myself. Obviously not intentionally, but it still happened. You're doing great things now, though. You're back at school. You have me and so many other people. Yeah, but I didn't waste those 2 years. But if I didn't waste those 2 years, my life could be so much better. I think the important part is that you pick yourself up. People spend decades confused. You know exactly what you want in life, which is already more than most people our age. I've always known, so the execution has been the difficult part. Knowing is difficult in and of itself. I wanted to be seen for my accomplishments. That validation would have made me happy, but I had to stop being depressed and do something first. You should give yourself more credit. It takes so much courage to allow yourself to heal. But I knew that it was the reason that people didn't want to be my friend. I carried the negative emotions with me everywhere. I was difficult to be around. Earlier this year, I ran into a guy I met at our college's newspaper. We talked in the semester before I dropped everything. When he saw me again this year, he was like, "I'm so glad that you're in a good place in your life now, because back then, you were terrible to be around." He didn't have to say that. The reason it really affected me was that he was completely right. I tried to make friends, and it never panned out because I wasn't likable. I couldn't help that I was depressed. I know, but he shouldn't have said that. You never know what other people are going through. Everyone knew and loved him. He was where I wanted to be. Just because people like him doesn't mean he said the right thing. I saw all of these people who were smart and sociable, and I wanted to be them more than anything. I didn't care that if they were boring. They were happy, and that was everything to me. Loss, want, happiness. These are the quickest way... Loud car. These are all the quickest ways to learn about the world. Regardless of the whole boring thing, there are so many people like me who want to accept you as you are. So I've learned. When I think about my friends, I'm always envious of their lives. They don't have to go through mental gymnastics just to get by, but I think that when it comes to small moments of joy, we feel them stronger than everyone else. But they're the ones who won't get ahead in life. That doesn't mean happiness. They seem happy to me. I recently met this guy in my class. I realized that we did the same type of art, so I looked him up. I saw his profile and realized that he was the real deal. While I was back at home, he was refining his style. You can do that. You're already off to the right start. I don't know, though, if I could ever reach that level. I don't know if my best will ever be enough, and now I have all this lost time. You needed that time to be where you are now. If you never went through this self-reflection or took time off school, you'd still be where you were a year ago. I guess I'm frustrated that I'm not someone else then. How I like to see it is there have been moments in my life I wouldn't trade for anything. If I were a different person, I'd lose them. If you really think about it, we're these fleshy bodies trying to make sense of the world around us. There isn't one right way to be a blob of muscle and fat. I'm gonna go with the first one, but I love the description of the second one. I don't want to lose you. I don't know who it'd be if we hadn't met. Really? Well, I do know, and I'd be worse. I feel safe telling you these things because I know you'll understand me. I could be the best version of myself starting from now, and I still don't know if that's enough. For that to happen, I need to advocate for myself the way you do. If anything, I need your patience. Are you thinking what I'm thinking? We should combine ourselves to form the perfect person. Learn from each other. Oh. This is awkward. I would love if I could talk to people more. And I would love if I didn't blabber so much. And I would love if I were a cute artist boy. We would make a great person. Agreed. Something over this way. There. Another potato. It's a potato. I see a paper lantern. It's not a potato. Like the ones in Chinatown? I used to go to the Lantern Festival there every year. When I was still in Chinese school, they'd make us do dances. One year, I was a lily pad. That was adorable. You did so many things as a kid. Yeah, but none of them stuck. Now I'm not doing cultural dances anymore, or really anything from back then. I see how it is. Now you see me as a lazy adult. No. I've never heard you talk about the Lantern Festival before. That's because I stopped going. Too old now? My mom still goes, and it'd be weird if she saw me. My friends still go, though. Your friends know what's going on with your mom, right? I think they just pretend not to notice. Or, yeah, they do. I used to be so mad at my mom, and I thought it was typical Asian parenting. At the time, I didn't see all of the special parties that parts about being Chinese. Like what? Seeing a Chinese person at a party and immediately feeling at ease. It's the unspoken bond of meeting someone, sharing no words, but understanding their upbringing entirely. I've never had that feeling before. There was this one time in 6th grade where I was at a sleepover with the girls. We all started doing this one girl's makeup, and she looked gorgeous. Everyone called her beautiful. But then when it came to doing my makeup, they made me into a literal raccoon. It wasn't on purpose, but my Asian eye shapes aren't the traditional Western beauty standard, so no one understood how to do my makeup. So my friend was complimented by everyone in the group I was a clown. I'm sure they were trying at their best. They were, but whenever I tell this story, my Chinese friends all know exactly what I'm talking about with my eye shape and the whole feeling ugly because you're Asian. Everyone else thinks it's a story about me being an insecure kid, but no, it's me being an insecure kid because I'm Asian. I don't know why anyone would think Asian people are ugly. Growing up, a lot of that has faded, but I remember being young and having this guy confide in me that he liked my friend being like, she's pretty for an Asian. I truly don't understand why anyone would voice that opinion, especially to you. I used to wish I was white. I used to have so much comfort in being Asian, but I don't know anymore. I hated being Asian as a kid, and all of the best parts of my cultural identity are no longer there because my parents and I don't talk. I don't know, June, the way you describe your Asianness, the market, stealing fruit, it really sounds like you haven't let go. I remember these things, but they're no longer a part of my life. It sounds like you carry them with you. I guess. No, really, if you asked me to describe the American experience, I'd say something general, like our crazy political climate, but you describe these parts of your life with so much detail. I just don't know if the Asian community accepts me. It doesn't help that my family is the black sheep of the Asian community. They should understand that it's not your fault. You know how you see your parents this one way when you're a kid, but then you grow up and you have this big realization, my parents are actually regular people? I went through that, but I realized my mom isn't even that. Your mom is human, but your realization is more sad than humbling. I don't think my mom is this evil person. I think she's someone who can't control her temper to the point where I can't have a relationship with her. You can't control who your parents are. Some people let that bad luck define them. My mom hasn't contacted me once since our big fight. I'm never going to pretend like I know what you've been through, but you've had a rough couple years. The fact that you still have the capacity to empathize with people, to give people your all, it's a testament that you're a good person. I was at my friend's house for her birthday. While we were gone, her parents decorated the entire house and cooked us food. We got back and everyone had dinner with them. My friend deserves all of these things, but the whole situation feels more fantasy than what normal parents are like to me. Her mom asked about my parents, and it's like, what am I supposed to say? I don't speak to my parents. Actually, they're still alive. You could put it at, we live separate lives now. Yeah, but then I'm the one bringing down the mood. I'm the one ruining the group dynamic because I have issues. It's not your fault, though. I want to go where no one knows my name, where I don't have to think about the person I'm supposed to be. It doesn't matter how much you run, it'll catch up to you eventually. Oh, no doubt. Another flower. Oh, streetlight. I see my neighborhood streetlight. Why is that? When I was about to go off to college, I'd lie under the streetlights with my friends and we'd talk about life. I spent my whole life wanting to see more city, more people outside of my bubble, but once I left, I realized that there was actually so much already in my hometown, as suburbia as it is. You always call it boring. That's the point, really. You can't go out, so you lie under the streetlights and talk about life and why you're scared of the future and all that. When there's nothing to do, you may as well share your deepest hopes and dreams. I'm scared of the deep ocean. I'd like to think a great scholar said that. Who would this great scholar be? Me. I said this. Well, scholar or not, I think you're right. A lot of my secrets were shared under a streetlight at night. The stars hold all of our secrets. That's pretty intimidating. The amount of times I've shared my secrets because it was late at night and I was in my feels is embarrassing. Then the next morning I'm like, mistakes were made. I know the feeling. There was this one time I liked this guy and we were messaging late at night. I just started sharing my entire life story because I was like, he's gonna get all of my life trauma and fall in love with me. But then he ended up ghosting me. You share your life story at all times of the day. Yeah, but I think because I was exhausted, I convinced myself that we were soulmates and that he was destined to like me. That's a lot of hope to have. Yeah, but I hold out on things that aren't meant to be. Duly noted. No, but I think we all want to be loved so badly that sometimes we show parts of ourselves we regret, and to prove the cynical part of me wrong. But I never do. You always talk about how little you believe in things, but you really are one of the most secretly hopeful people ever. You took a chance on a relationship when any average cynical person wouldn't. I did think about what I was doing for 10 hours a day. Yeah, but it's the action that really counts and what affects your life. That's what you should hold on to. Ooh. Oh, I'm getting more. Am I? Or is that all of them? Hey, June. Yeah? I really hope you know how amazing, resilient, and special you are. No matter what my current situation is, I hope you can always talk to me. I'll always be there for you. Miles shifts his body to lean towards mine. Our faces so close I can hear his breath. You're my person. I used to dream about what being in a relationship was like. I had all these fantasies about guys throwing rocks at my window and making me playlists to fall asleep to. What has happened between us is even greater than anything I could have imagined. No matter what's happened in my life, having you here has made it all worth it. You're worth it all. You're the brightest person in any room. Remember that one time you walked me home after the Father John Misty concert? Yeah. You told me you wish your past self could see you now. I remember. I wish my past self could see me now. Stars shoots across the sky. Did you see that? I've never seen a shooting star before. Then you should make a wish. I did. What did you wish for? I don't think I'm supposed to tell you. I don't like this rules about wishes. You'll know what it was soon enough. Really? Let me tell you this. What I wished for just came true. Just now. I wished that I would fall in love this summer, and I did. I love you. I love you too. Not just that, I love how you are unapologetically yourself, no matter what. I love how you dance when no music is playing, and I love how you get excited over the smallest things, like seeing your favorite food at the grocery store. I love that you have the worst luck when it comes to dating, but you still took a chance on me. I love the way you said yes to all my weird ideas. I love that you get more beautiful and determined each day I know you. I love that I get to witness your growth. Please tell me you rehearsed that, because that was way too smooth otherwise. I did give myself a good pep talk in the mirror before tonight. Thanks for playing! This was a sweet game. Like I said at the beginning of this, I can't relate to the Asian American cultural part of this because I am not such. But it was a cute story, and I can relate to having a terrible relationship with at least one of my parents. I enjoyed playing this. But that is all that I have for you today, folks. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. I really appreciate it, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!